Come, let's go with semiconductors. Semiconductors are a material whose electrical properties lies between conductors and insulators. This semiconductor based on the electrical conductivity, all the material in natural or classified as insulators, semiconductors and conductors. Simply we know about insulator means it is a material that offer a very low level or negligible of conductivity when voltage is applied. Example, paper, mica, glass, quartz. This is insulator examples. This insulation level always having 10 power 10 to 10 power 12 ohm centimeter. The energy band between the valence band and the conduction band is called forbidden band gap. So it is energy required by an electron to move from valence band to conduction band. The energy required for valence band to become a free electron. Next, we need to know about conductors. Conductor is a material which support a generous flow of charge when a voltage is applied across its terminals. It has very high conductivity. Example, copper, aluminium, silver, gold. The resistivity of a conductor is in the order of 10 power minus 4 and 10 power minus 6 ohm centimeter. The valence and conduction band overlap and there is no energy gap for the electrons to move from valence band to conduction band. So therefore at room temperature when electric field is applied, large current flows through the conductor. Third one is semiconductor. A semiconductor is a material that has its conductivity somewhere between the insulator and the conductor. The resistivity level is in the range of 10 and 10 power 4 ohm centimeter. What I told for conductor 10 power minus 4 and 10 power minus 6 ohm centimeter. Whereas in insulator 10 power 10 to 10 power 12 ohm centimeter, but here semiconductor 10 and 10 power 4 ohm centimeter. Two of the most commonly used are silicon 14 atomic number and germanium 32 atomic number. Both have 4 valence electrons. Then the forbidden band gap is in the order of 1 electrovolt, for example. So these are now free electrons as they can move freely under the influence of electric field. At room temperature there are sufficient electrons in the circuit breaker and hence the semiconductor is capable of conducting some current at room temperature. So semiconductor types are p-type, intrinsic and extrinsic. So those two classification having some subclassification, extrinsic having p-type and n-type. A pure form of semiconductor is called as intrinsic semiconductor. Conduction in intrinsic is either due to thermal excitation or crystal defects. Extrinsic means, already I said extrinsic semiconductor classification. Intrinsic semiconductor has very limited applications as they conduct very small amount of current at room temperature. The current conduction capability of intrinsic semiconductor can be increased significantly by adding a small amount impurity to the intrinsic semiconductor. By adding impurities, it becomes impure or extrinsic semiconductor. This process of adding impurities is called as doping. The amount of impurity added is 1 part in 10 power 6 atoms. Okay, come let's go with the types. N-type semiconductor mean added impurity as a pentavalent atom, then the resultant semiconductor is called N-type semiconductor. Example of pentavalent impurities are phosphorus, arsenic, like bismuth, antimony, etc. A pentavalent impurity has 5 valence electrons. Show the crystal structure of N-type semiconductor materials where 4 out of 5 valence electrons of the impurity atoms forms covalent bond with the 4 intrinsic semiconductor atoms. The fifth electron is loosely bound to the impurity atom. This loosely bound electron can be easily excited from the valence band to the conduction band by the application of electric field or increasing the thermal energy. Next, move with p-type. P-type semiconductor added impurity is a trivalent atom. Then the resultant semiconductor is called p-type semiconductor. Now, how the p-type and n-type semiconductor charges their density level. Under thermal equilibrium for any semiconductor, the product of the number of holes and the concentration of electron is constant and is independent of amount of donor and acceptor impurity dopings. Based on that, we want to look at this diode structures. In a piece of diode, p-type impurity and the other half is doped by n-type impurity. A p-n junction is formed. The plane dividing the two halves or two zones is called p-n junction. As shown in the figure, the n-type material has high concentration of free electrons, while p-type material has high concentration of holes. Therefore, at the junction is a tendency of free electron to diffuse over to the p side and holes to the n side. This process is called diffusion. As the free electron move across the junction from n-type to p-type, the donor atoms becomes positively charged. Hence, a positive charge is built on the inside of the junction. The free electrons that cross the junction uncover the negative acceptor ions by filling the holes. Therefore, a negative charge is developed on the p side of the junction. This net negative charge on the p side prevents further diffusion of electrons into the p side. Similarly, the net positive charge on the n side repels the holes crossing from p side to n side. Thus, a barrier is set up near the junction which prevent the further movement to charge carrier, electrons and holes. As a consequence of induced electric field across the depletion layer, an electrostatic potential difference